Two global giants. Two superpowers shaping the 21st century. But what happens when we compare modern United States and modern China, not by who's better today, but by how powerful they are relative to their own historical eras? Today, we're breaking down influence, military power, wealth, inflation, and technology, all in a fully neutral, scientifically grounded way. Just data, context, and a fair comparison. Let's dive in. Comparing the United States and China in the modern era is fascinating because it's not just a comparison between two countries. It's a comparison between two different stages of global development. The modern United States represents the world's longest-running contemporary superpower, with influence peaking after World War II. Meanwhile, modern China represents one of the fastest economic transformations in human history, rising from isolation to global heavyweight in just a few decades. So the question isn't who's stronger, it's how powerful is each country relative to the time period they dominate? Let's break it down, category by category. Number 1. Global influence or geopolitical power. Since the late 20th century, the U.S. has held unprecedented global influence. It leads major alliances like NATO, hosts the world's reserve currency, controls the largest network of global military bases, dominates international finance, and holds major sway in global institutions. Relative to its time, the U.S. has been at or near the peak of global influence achieved by any state in history. China's global influence has expanded dramatically since the 1990s. It wields economic diplomacy through the Belt and Road Initiative, has major influence in manufacturing and supply chains, and holds rising political leverage in the global South. Relative to its era, China is rapidly becoming a central pole in a multipolar world. But its influence, while massive, is still expanding rather than fully consolidated. Because the United States holds an exceptionally high level of global influence in the modern era, leading major international institutions, alliances, and global decision-making networks that score its 10 out of 10. And China's global influence is rapidly expanding, driven by its economic power and diplomatic reach, but it has not yet achieved the fully established worldwide impact of the United States, so that will receive 8 out of 10. Number 2. Wealth and economic capacity. United States, modern era. From a macroeconomic standpoint, the United States represents a fully mature, high-income economy characterized by strong capital markets, deep financial liquidity, and sustained productivity growth driven by innovation. The U.S. dollar's status as the world's primary reserve currency amplifies its global economic leverage, lowering borrowing costs and expanding fiscal space. Relative to its historical period, the U.S. operates at the upper boundary of economic capability, supported by advanced financial institutions, robust consumer demand, and world-leading innovation capacity. China, modern era. China's economic trajectory is defined by one of the fastest and most intense capital accumulation cycles in modern economic history. Rapid industrialization, large-scale infrastructure investment, and export-oriented development have transformed it into the world's second-largest economy. Despite lower per capita income, China exhibits extraordinary economic strength through its manufacturing dominance, high national savings rate, and state-directed development strategy. Relative to its era, China's growth model is historically exceptional, characterized by accelerated structural upgrading and unprecedented economic momentum. The United States scores 9 out of 10 in wealth and economic capacity, reflecting its mature, innovation-driven, high-income economy. China scores 10 out of 10, representing one of the most rapid and large-scale economic transformations in modern history. Number 3. Military strength. United States. The United States has the most globally capable and technologically advanced military in the modern era. It maintains over 750 military bases in more than 80 countries, giving it a worldwide presence. The U.S. Navy operates 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, each capable of projecting air power around the world. One of the most important examples of U.S. military technology is the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. The B-2 can fly extremely long distances, avoid radar detection, and deliver precision strikes anywhere on the planet. This gives the United States a unique long-range strategic advantage. In addition to the B-2, the U.S. fields advanced stealth fighters like the F-22 and F-35, which dominate air combat and precision missions. The American military also has unmatched logistics, including large fleets of transport aircraft and aerial refueling tankers. These allow U.S. forces to operate and sustain missions far from home. Relative to its era, the U.S. military demonstrates unmatched global reach, advanced technology, and powerful logistics. China. China's military has modernized extremely quickly, transforming from an outdated force into one of the most powerful militaries in the world. China now has the largest navy by number of ships, and it continues to build modern destroyers, frigates, and aircraft carriers at high speed. China also focuses heavily on missile technology. Its DF-21D and DF-26 missiles are often called carrier killers because they are designed to threaten large naval targets at long range. China has built several artificial islands in the South China Sea and equipped them with runways, radar systems, and missile defenses. These bases expand China's military reach in a critical region. China is also improving its air force. The J-20 stealth fighter, hypersonic systems, and long-range missiles show that China is rapidly closing the technology gap in several areas. While China does not yet have the same global reach as the United States, its modernization speed and regional power projection are historically significant. The United States scores 10 out of 10 for military strength due to its unmatched global reach, advanced technology, and superior logistics. China scores 7.5 out of 10, reflecting its rapid modernization and strong regional power, but also the fact that it has not yet reached full global military projection. Number 4. Inflation. United States. From a macroeconomic perspective, the United States has maintained relatively stable inflation across the modern era, especially compared to other advanced economies. The Federal Reserve's monetary policy framework, built on credible inflation targeting, helps anchor price expectations. Although short-term shocks, such as the 2008 financial crisis and the post-2020 supply disruptions, caused temporary spikes, long-run inflation stability has remained solid. For a mature, consumption-driven economy, this consistency is historically strong. Stable inflation protects the real value of wages, supports long-term investment behavior, and reinforces global confidence in the U.S. dollar. Relative to its era, the United States demonstrates credible and effective inflation management. China. China's inflation record is notable because it has remained relatively controlled despite rapid industrialization, massive infrastructure development, and one of the fastest growth cycles in modern history. Most emerging economies experience significant price volatility during expansion, but China has limited this through state-guided credit policy, regulated commodity prices, and strict financial oversight. Although occasional inflation spikes have occurred, often linked to food prices or credit booms, China has generally maintained moderate and predictable inflation. Relative to its era, which is characterized by enormous structural transformation, China's inflation stability is remarkably strong for a rapidly developing economy. The United States scores 8 out of 10 for inflation stability, reflecting strong long-term control with occasional temporary spikes. China scores 8.5 out of 10, recognizing its unusually stable inflation profile during one of the fastest economic expansions in history. Number 5. Technology level. The United States is one of the world's leaders in advanced technology. It dominates in areas like artificial intelligence, aerospace, semiconductor design, biotechnology, and space exploration. American companies such as Apple, Google, Microsoft, and SpaceX shape global tech trends and set the standards for innovation. The U.S. also has strong research universities and large private sector investment, which help create new breakthroughs. Relative to its era, the United States operates at the very front of global technological development. China. China has become a major technological power, especially in applied innovation and industrial-scale technology. It leads globally in manufacturing, high-speed rail systems, and 5G telecommunications infrastructure. China also makes rapid progress in artificial intelligence, robotics, electric vehicles, and renewable energy. Although it still trails the US in some advanced areas like semiconductor design and space technologies, its overall growth rate is exceptionally fast. Relative to its era, China's technological rise is historically impressive and continues to accelerate. Score for the United States: 10 out of 10, reflecting its position as the world's top frontier technology innovator. Score for China: 9 out of 10, reflecting its massive technological progress and rapid expansion across multiple sectors. At the end, final scores. The average score for the United States is 9.5 out of 10. This score reflects its strong global influence, advanced military power, high economic capacity, stable inflation, and world-leading technology. And the average score for China is 8.6 out of 10. This score reflects its fast economic growth, expanding influence, rapid military modernization, stable inflation, and major technological progress. This comparison is purely about state-level performance in the modern era. It does not reflect opinions about the Chinese people, their culture, or their identity. The analysis is strictly based on historical and economic metrics. And with that, we reach the end of this comparison, but not the end of the journey. If you enjoyed this neutral, data-focused breakdown, get ready for the next video. We're exploring another historical matchup that shaped the world in ways you might not expect. Stay curious, stay analytical, and I'll see you in the next comparison.